All right, so just to show you on our little timetable, confirm that tonight we need to look at the instructions for evaluation of teaching materials, which is your second written assignment. Strangely, it doesn't give a date to turn in this written assignment, but it's usually like at the end of the course, right? So let's say you've got until the 23rd of October for this. Right? So what is the evaluation of teaching materials assignment? I think the best way would be just to read the rubric. I'll send it to you by the chat. There it comes. There you go, and it looks like this. Please leave this first sheet as usual, but put your name and signature when you submit it, saying that it's your own work. You didn't get ChatGPT to write it for you. There you go. So, written assignment 2, evaluation of teaching materials. Christian, could you read the aim for us?
Aim: to demonstrate candidates' ability to select, adapt, reject, and supplement material with rationale, and to plan a lesson based around it.
Right, so Anna Maria, could you read the next part?
Yeah, for this assignment, you are going to look at a page from our course book of your choice and describe how you could exploit it in the classroom.
All right, so it has to be from you've got to select a page from a course book, but it can be a course book that you're using at your school, for example, Anna Maria, right?
Okay, perfect.
Or it could be the one that we're using in our teaching practice, which is face-to-face, right? So it says, select a page from a course book, but do not choose anything that you've seen someone else use in a lesson. Right? It could be something that you're planning to use in one of your lessons. That's okay. Yeah. So you can save yourself a bit of time. So, you know, you could use, Christian, in your case, page 27. Anna Maria, it could be page 18 from face-to-face if you wish. And then so you need to explain why you would use the coursebook material, how you would exploit it, and say what you would select. Adapt could mean you're changing the material slightly so for the online context, for example, because remember this material is designed mainly for face-to-face classrooms. And what you would reject, right? Not use. The rationale behind your methods. What additional material and activities you would employ and why. You can now then write a brief outline of the lesson you would devise. It can be in the form of a chart or a grid, or it can be simply a list of the lesson stages. It's not necessary to write a full lesson plan, but it should be possible for the reader to see the lesson at a glance. So your essay needs to contain your answers to this, and it also needs the outline of the lesson. And you also need to say what page from the course book you're using. Right? These are the essentials. If you do all those things, you're probably going to pass. Yeah? Here are the assessment criteria. So is your essay relevant to the rubric? And all of this is the rubric from here, the top to this down here. Rubric is the instructions, yeah? Have you completed the task? Have you written at least 750 words? Don't go underneath 750, but it should. You can actually go over 850, but yeah. Doesn't matter that much if you wish to go over. Maybe 10% over. It's the usual thing. Just make sure you're being accurate with spelling and punctuation and use of English. You're accurate regarding the factual content. You're using the right meta-language and terminology. Meta-language, any idea what that means? Welcome, Paula. I've recorded the beginning of the session so you can go back and look at it later.
Okay, thank you.
Well, you can refer to the glossary for any doubts about meta-language and terminology. But briefly, any idea what meta-language means?
I don't remember.
See if you can answer that question before I reach the answer in the glossary. No, it's not that. Meta-language is language to talk about language. Okay, so earlier, Christian used some meta-language. He said, present progressive. And that's accurate. It's an accurate label for so that's accurate meta-language, isn't it? Yeah? And terminology, well, this terminology could be the right sort of terminology to describe the stages of the lesson. Or it could be the right terminology that we're using to describe the selection, adaptation of materials. when you're considering the rationale for the use of any supplementary material, you can consult any of these books, which are found in the library, the resource section of the NEO platform, right? So, Anna Marie, sorry, Paola, as you've just arrived, I will just give you the assignment sheet. And this is written assignment 2, evaluation of teaching materials, as stated on our timetable here. Evaluation of teaching materials. So, any questions so far? What I'd like to do for maybe just about 90 minutes, no more, is do something that we didn't have time to do the other day when we were covering course books. It's related to the topic of course books, right? Classroom aids and so on. So how could we supplement coursebook material? Could you please open your TKT IHC handbook at Unit 20? Okay, so the instructions are, look at the list of supplementary materials below. Small groups discuss what you would use them for from the list, from the reasons listed below. So here are the reasons with the infinitive to here, okay? And let's think of other resources and or reasons and add them to the list below. Okay, so to get you started with graded reader. First, can anyone remember what a graded reader is? Anyone
They're
remember
reading
what a
books.
grade? It's a
They're
type of
reading.
reading. It's a type of reading book, yeah. Is it like a proper novel? A graded reader? Or is it something simpler? What do you think? Is it like a Dickens novel? Or is it something simpler like this? Yeah? It's something simpler, isn't it? Yeah, it's like, this is from the Programa Nacional de Inglés en Educación Básica, right? And it's got lots of reading activities, but it's graded to the level of the students, right? So it contains a certain number of words that are and complexity of vocabulary which is suitable for primary school students in this case, right? In Mexico. That's what the SEP decided was suitable. Right, so But what would its purpose be? What is the reason for using this? Look on the reasons side.
To replace
could it
unsuitable material in coursebook? No.
It could
To
be.
give, or to give learners extra language or skills practice? No.
Yeah, that's more likely. Yeah, that to give them extra skills practice. In this case, reading extensively, right? Reading for pleasure, so that they can develop their reading fluency and perhaps like maybe in the process acquire new vocabulary. What a okay, so I'm going to give you some minutes to.
So the new vocabulary could be the advantage.
Okay, we're not talking about advantages yet. We're on task 1, yeah.
Ah,
Okay. But yeah, let's. You can note that down if you wish as an advantage. All right. So think about the other possible supplementary materials: skills practice books, teachers' resource books, websites, video, language practice books. Here's a language practice book. English essential grammar and use. There's another language practice book, English pronunciation in use. And then you've got electronic materials like CD-ROMs and computer programs, games and other. Okay, but what would be the reasons for using them? So I'm going to give you about 3 or 4 minutes, Paula and Christian. Unfortunately, Anna Maria has left us, to try and think about what the reasons would be for using these. Can you talk together briefly?
Yes. Well, mm, the reason, okay? He said the reason for use this.
Yes, the reason. Or
Well, the first it can be obvious because
by graded reader.
the practice, yeah, skills practice.
Okay. Yes, skill practice books. It's more exercise for everything is clear.
And teacher resource because we don't have anything. We don't know everything. So we need to consult some resource to be confident when we are teaching.
Okay. Yes.
Websites can be fun and attractive. For example, using Kahoot.
Yes. All of sites of games, no? Or where you can do quizzes.
Yeah, and videos. I think it's part of the be entertainment and also learn because in YouTube there are a lot of videos that you can learn in English and students can practice the technique, for example, shadow technique, and then repeat the same after or while the people are saying something.
Yes.
And language practice book.
Language practice books. I think that it's similar to skill practice books, no? Because, well, only in grammar, because it can be to help to the students know about the grammar.
Yeah. And electronic materials. Well, if you are giving online class, it's perfect to have a lot of electronic materials.
Yes, yes, it's a lot. I think the main electronic material is now form.
Yeah. And games. Well, Abby said me, Mom, your class was so boring. Why you don't use some games?
Yes, yes, maybe the games help the students to pay more attention.
Yeah, and be relaxed and
Yes,
learn better.
yes, yes.
We need to discuss the other list or not?
Another, no, I don't think. Well, I think that we can do a flashcard, but I think that it's a teacher resource, maybe.
Okay.
Flashcards is a good idea, but what would you use them for?
To show them picture about the meaning of some word.
Yeah, that's right. So that would be a good reason now, wouldn't it? Yeah, to help us clarify meaning form. Meaning form or vocab, meaning or pronunciation. Right? Yeah, I agree with all your ideas there. Good. So let's move on, unless you have any questions. What are teachers' resource books? Now, teachers' resource books are usually the books that come with the student's book, but they're for the teacher. Got any examples here? Oh yes, here's a set, right? So business result, upper intermediate. Now this is a student's book, right? That's what the students have, but the resource book is like this, the teacher's guide, and at the back it often has additional activities, like there's a speaking test, progress test, other communicative activities like role play cards. So that would be a teacher's resource book. All right, so I think we've clarified what all of those things mean. So now let's try and think of what are the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, maybe one of you could work on the advantages and the other person could work on the disadvantages. How about that? And then we pool our ideas together. What do you think? Could that work?
Yes.
Paula, which would you prefer to do? Advantages or disadvantages?
Advantages.
Advantages. Okay, so could you think of all the advantages for graded readers, skills practice, teachers resource book, websites, video, language practice, electronic materials, and games? And Christian, could you think of the disadvantages? Okay, I'll give you about 4 minutes. See how you get on. Yeah, you can write your answers in your handbook. And then I've got some suggested answers I can give you at the end, yeah? So, any questions before you begin?
2024.
No.
I mean, we could do it that way, or the alternative is that we divide up graded readers for one person and the other person does video, language practice books, electronic games, and you cover advantages and disadvantages for both. Which do you prefer? Should we do it the first way? Paula does advantages, Christian thinks of disadvantages. All right, let's begin. Give you about 4 minutes. So just write your answers, just brainstorm some answers, and then we'll compare. All right, let's see how you did. Paula, tell us what you think of the advantages of graded readers.
It is easy for to use them because you just need to see the age or the level, and they have a good entertainment.
Yeah, so they can be entertaining, suitable for the level. What do you think the disadvantages might be, Christian?
Disadvantages. Students don't like read. And another, I think that sometimes they are not able to concentrate on a long text.
Yeah, a lot of kids these days have problems with concentration, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah. What about the skills practice books? Paula?
They have a lot balance to learn because they develop the four abilities, the four skills.
Yeah.
So it's a good balance for learning.
And what do you think they? Yeah. So it helps them to focus on individual skills, the four skills. What do you think the disadvantages might be, Christian? Skills practice books.
Skill practice books. Some books contain the same, and the process turns boring.
Yeah. Teachers' resource books. Advantages, Paula.
Well, the teacher don't waste time to find how they can teach something, because
That's right.
they get a guide.
Yeah. Downside, Christian.
And teacher resource books, I only think that students can find on internet and copy all the exercises.
Oh, it could be. Right. And what about websites, Paula?
Well, they are accessible for almost.
Yeah. So they're accessible, it can be easy to find, and there's a variety, right? And what might be the downside, Christian?
That some sites cost a lot of money.
That's right, because they have a paywall that
yes,
you have to.
You need to pay
a subscription
to get the premium.
Yeah. Okay, so here are some suggested. Some of your ideas are included, but not all of them. Yeah, so Christian mentioned rightly that sometimes you have to pay to access the materials on websites these days. All right, shall we move on to the next set, which was video? What's the advantage of video? Any advantages?
Well, you can practice the listening easily.
Yeah, there's easy practice of listening. Also, because you can see the faces, that makes it a bit easier as well, doesn't it? Disadvantages of video?
Audio quality sometimes is bad.
It can be, yeah, yeah. Language practice books.
Sometimes they focus on a specific point of the language, so you can see deeply something.
Right. Yeah, and it's not always integrated with other skills, right? So that could be a disadvantage. Any other disadvantage?
And actually, I think the same. That only focusing on one ability, and the others are so limited.
Yeah. Electronic materials.
Advantage is, for example, if the student use app like Elsa, they learn by themselves.
Yeah.
They don't need a teacher.
Yeah. So the disadvantages would be
that with the information that they find, sometimes cause confusion.
Yeah, can be, yeah. And finally, games. What are the advantages of games, Paula?
They are found that disadvantage can be students lose the control.
Yeah. What? The teacher loses control or the students lose control?
The students.
Oh, okay. Is that an advantage or a disadvantage?
Well, this is a disadvantage.
Okay. Can you think of any advantages of games?
Well, they are fun.
Oh, they're fun, right? Okay. Any other disadvantages of games? Christian?
That they are not always aligned to the learning goals.
Exactly, yeah. That's a good one. Welcome back, Hannah Maria. We've recorded it, so you can always go back and look at it later. We're just looking at the advantages and disadvantages of some supplementary material. So video provides visual context, source of cultural information. It shows body language. That's important for comprehension. The equipment may not be always available and language may not be graded. Advantages of language practice books: they give extra practice and learners can work alone without the teacher's help. The disadvantages is the activities, exercises might be repetitive, there's not much context or sometimes little. Electronic materials could be motivation, familiar technology for younger learners in particular. Disadvantages: difficult for teachers to control how learners are working. There's not much feedback from humans. Games, so there's enjoyment and language practice as an advantage, but they may not be suitable for older learners. Okay, so here are some general recommendations. Get to know what supplementary materials are available in your school before you consider looking for other supplementary materials. You may need to think about exactly how supplementary materials will replace or improve on materials in the course book. You may decide to use authentic materials not meant for teaching purposes. For this, plan carefully how you intend to exploit them. When using materials to develop a specific skill, make sure they are the right level and any language that learners may need to be familiar with. So we're going to have a look at a bit of supplementary material from a teacher's resource book. We've already mentioned teacher's resource books. These can be from the teacher's guide or from a special resource book. So let me show you the material. It's on the same handbook. Okay, and it's from Games for Language Practice. Okay, this is the piece of material. And the three of you are going to spend some time analyzing it and completing the table. So what type of activity is it? Well, it looks like a game, right? Like a table game. It involves about life experiences, isn't it? Huh? So that is the topic. Time, it's difficult to say. How long do you think it will last? Maybe 30 minutes?
Maybe
30?
10 minutes.
Could be 10 if it's low-level learners, but maybe if the students have a lot to say, it could be 30 minutes, right? Okay, so I'd like you to work together. Perhaps one of you could be the scribe or the writer. Can we have a volunteer to be the writer? Any volunteers? No one wants to write.
I can write.
Anna Maria, if you can write, okay? So it's you have the handbook ready. It's unit 20. Yeah. And you're going to write the answers directly on the handbook, right, Anna Maria?
Yeah, let me open the file because I have in my book.
Okay, and Paula and Christian, you've got the game right here. You can see it. Okay, I'll give you about 5 or 6 minutes, and I'd like you to.
Can you send to me that again to download again and put it?
Well, it's rather heavy. It'd be better if you could find it on your
Okay,
computer.
okay.
I can see if I can send it to you. Documents. I see.
It's here.
You've got
I
it?
already have it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks. Because it's quite a lot of megabytes. You've got the right page?
Yes.
I think
82.
it's
83.
page 83. Okay. All right. So I'll leave it on the screen.
Yeah.
So Paula and Christian, try and give Anna Maria some suggestions. What is the interaction? What materials will the learners use? What language do they need to know? What's the level? What language will the learners produce? Right? What structure is it? Is there any vocabulary as well? What is the procedure? How do we set up this game in the classroom? Imagine it's a face-to-face classroom in a normal classroom. Yeah? All right, so I'll give you 5.
Okay. Christian, learns interaction.
Learners interaction.
Wait a minute, because it's here.
I think it's like 83.
Yeah, sorry, I'm coming. No,
No, it's
no más para abajo.
16.
Yes. Okay, here. Type of activity
Gain,
is table game. Then topic,
life
life
experience.
time 15 to 30 minutes. Learners interaction could be speaking about experiences.
Yes, they are going to be able to speak about experiences.
They should
They
okay. Go ahead, Ana Maria.
they can find some um, similarities. What else? You was going to say something, right?
I'm confused. I don't know if these terms refers about if they can work in group or in pairs or in small teams.
I suppose yes, because it's
Yes, I suppose that it's on
they
peers,
need to
no?
work maybe in pairs or in group, and they can find some similarities between them. I bet. Sorry.
So the interaction is between peers.
Yeah, it says learners interaction. What they are going to interact. They are going to talk. They are going to speak. Not it's talk about their experiences. Maybe use a specific vocabulary and grammar and sounds.
Okay, dices and impression, paper impression of the activity. The activity.
What?
Immaterial learners will use
Uh-huh.
dices. Dice is with C.
Is a C? Dice. No, it's dice.
With
Or dice.
C, yeah.
Dice.
And
The table game.
The table game. Um,
Maybe like a coins or what can we
mm,
say?
it could be some pictures to talk about there.
But they don't know what they are going to talk about
Okay.
because
Okay.
you are going to throw the dice and you don't know if you are going to talk about your childhood or something that happened yesterday.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
you cannot bring pictures. Mm, language learners need to know.
Mm, past simple.
What else? Is that?
And simple present or present simple.
Okay. Suitable for learners level. It could be like for starters, right?
Yes, it's for starters.
Language learners will produce um, maybe writing skills or speaking and writing skills because they can write down the experiences that they listen to the other peer.
Okay. Yes.
So I suggest procedure. Yes.
That someone threw the dice.
First, look at the table game, right?
Okay.
Then um, look at the table game to know what they are going to do. Then
Mm, Then someone threw the dice and answered the question.
then
I don't know, between peers share
The
their stories.
second step repeat is going to repeat once and once again. Step. Then after the song they will check if they can find some similarity. Después, after that,
The winner gets a prize.
what?
The winner get a prize.
But there is no winner, or yes?
Yes, because it's a table, game table. In the end, someone who will finish first.
Okay. So, any notes?
That's it. Thank you. Well, okay. So Anna Maria, can you talk us through the sections? So learners, what is the learner's interaction?
The learner's interaction is talk about their experiences, and they can find some similarities between their experiences and use a specific vocabulary and form.
All right, but is it learners working individually? Is it learners working in pairs? Learners working in groups?
Okay. Work in pairs or full group.
Yeah, it could be small groups, like groups of 3, right?
Okay.
So if you've got a class of 30, then you could divide them into groups of 3 or 4, right? Or if you've got a small class of 5 students, everyone could participate, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So you need dice, but also don't you need little counters?
How you can
Like
write that?
tokens? Counters. COUNTERS. Counters.
Okay.
That's it. Counters. Okay, so past simple, it's certainly the past tense, isn't it? Why do you say present simple? I don't think I saw present simple.
We thought maybe because we don't know if it is but no experiences in the past. Okay. Very good.
They're all in the past, don't they?
Yeah.
Did you used to?
No,
Now,
you go on your that 28. You go on your
28.
first trip. There are some ones. You fail your math
Yeah,
test.
but you don't use that. You don't use it. It's just an instruction.
Okay.
But you don't actually speak, right? But most of them are all pasts. It's mostly used to, isn't it? That is a tense. Right? I used to go, right? So used to is a verb form, and they practice it. It's not the past simple. It's not the past simple because used to is to talk about past habits, right? So used to works like this. You've got subject plus used to plus verb in the base form. That is the language that they're going to use, the practice. So that raises the question, Tom, what level is it suitable for? You said such starters, but do we introduce used to at the level of starters or beginners?
No.
Not really. No, it's mainly, I think it's usually introduced at pre-intermediate level. So pre-intermediate, intermediate, and upper intermediate, perhaps. Not really advanced, but so pre, inter, and upper inter. Okay, so speaking skills, obviously, but why do you say writing?
Because we thought that maybe they can write about the experiences that they were talking about.
Yeah.
After
Suppose
the
you could do.
exercise.
Suppose you could do, but yeah, why not? You could follow up with like getting them to write about their experiences. Yeah. Okay, fine. Tell us about the procedure.
Who wants to say for me? Okay.
Nadie.
Nadie, nobody wants to work today.
Ahora tenemos flojera.
Yeah, let's go.
No,
Go for pan and cafecito. Mm.
I was writing in my notebook. Sorry, I can read this. Look at
Okay.
the table game to know what they are going to do. Someone throws the dice and answers the question. The second step is going to repeat it once and once again after they talk about their experiences. They will check if they can find some similarities. They can write about the experiences that the peers share with them. The winner wins the prize.
Good. Yeah, I think that would work. Good job. Now, I'm going to, just to finish off tonight, we haven't done any TKT practice. Okay, it's pretty important that we do. So I'm going to give you a TKT practice activity. You can stop, let's stop sharing this now. Going to send it to you by chat. It will take us about 6 minutes. Probably this the last thing we'll do tonight, yeah?
Okay.
Then you can go for your merienda. I think it is a good idea to do some TKT practice, exam practice. As you can see, it's from module 2. selection and use of supplementary materials and activities. So you've got to study this material. Huh?
Okay.
To do with planning a day out. It looks like a pair work activity that involves exchanging information, what we call information gap. Yeah. So I'm going to share this with you in the chat, and you're going to have about 6 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes max to do it. Here it is. Sending it to you via the chat now. It's about 2 megabytes. Okay, once you send your answers by the chat, yeah, once you're done. And this is useful to show you the relevance of what we've been doing today to the TKT exam. You've got to choose the item which is not appropriate. Just be careful with that. One of the ideas is not appropriate. Time is almost up. Please be sure to send your answers. Remember, it's not the idea which is not appropriate. Careful with that. All right. All right, some divergence here. Interesting. So the answers are, so number one, it's reported speech is not appropriate. That's correct, Christian. You got that one right. No, you would use present simple questions and you would use prepositions of time. Yeah. It's like, what time is the train? Or what time does the castle open? Yeah? Present simple. And time questions. Yeah. So the one that does not fit is reported speech. It wouldn't work well with young children. It's too complicated. Yeah. So that's the answer there. B. Context would revise vocabulary of places in time, but it wouldn't be suitable for free time activities, really. It's more about train travel. Yeah. Pretty free time activities. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not C. Maybe C is the inappropriate one there. Because I mean, there are some free time activities there, like going to a castle, going to an art gallery, right? Yeah. So I'm going to change 3 to C. Number 4, it's not appropriate for giving permission. Requesting and making plans, yeah. Five, practice not in reading for gist, because if you look at it, it's kind of too detailed. It's going to be B and C are the ones to give practice in, but A is not appropriate. Fine. Yeah, it would be classwork or class mingle, but not individual, because you couldn't do this on your own. It'd be impossible, really. It's designed to be done in pairs or moving around the class, but everyone working in pairs. Useful pre-teaching, yeah, would be telling the time or giving directions, but not expressing ability. So the answer, the unsuitable one is C. All right. Any doubts? Why did you think it was ability? Someone, Anna Maria, you said it was ability. Oh, you said it was the inappropriate one was telling the time. Why was that?
I don't know.
And Anna and Paula said the inappropriate one was giving directions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Telling the time. But don't you need those to do the task? You need to be able to give directions, don't you?
I don't know why giving directions, because
Yeah, but
I
look,
write
there's.
the giving the time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
7A. Okay, telling the time, but to do this task, you may have to review telling the time, right?
Yeah.
So that would be needed. So the answer is it can't be A. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you do need to be able to give directions on a map. So it can't be B, right? So by elimination, it has to be C.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason. It's tricky, isn't it? Son maniosos estes TKT questions.
Yeah.
That's why you need
A lot.
practice. Yeah. But I think we've done enough tonight, so you can go and have your merienda now.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good night.
Okay. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.